Hey, Steve Stine from Guitar Zoom here, and on this edition of Guitar Solos You Should Know, we're going to be looking at the main melody to Eric Clapton's Layla. This one's always fun too, and I find a lot of students like to play this one simply because there's a lot of hammer-ons and pull-offs in here. So again, we're not looking at the whole song, we're going to look at that melody, but let's look at where it originates from. So if we look at the main riff of the song, we have this, which can be played down here. Right, so I'm doing 0, 3, 0, 3. You'll notice I'm doing a hammer-on. And then on the fourth string, I'm doing 0, 3 as a hammer-on pull-off. And then back to that 3. And then back to an open fourth string. So you're implementing both picking and legato techniques at the same time. So hammer-on, pull-off, pick, and then pick. And when I come up here to the 5th fret, I'm doing the same notes, just different position on the guitar. And I'm still doing the same picking technique. I'm doing a hammer-on, and then hammer-on pull-off, and then pick on the 8th fret there, and then back to the 5. So whichever one is more comfortable for you. Again, I always tell people you can certainly watch Eric Clapton videos and do it the way that he's doing it, and that's great. But at the end of the day, what's most important to me is that you figure out how to do it in a way that works best for you and your playing and your visualization, your mentality, whatever works for you. So that's the main riff. Okay? Now, there is a secondary guitar that comes in doing an octave, and that's happening at the 7th fret of the 4th string. Okay, and it just does that thing. What we're looking for is the octave above that yet, which is the 10th fret of the 2nd string. We're going to go. And you see, that's why I want to show you how to play it this way. Even though you might play the main riff down here, you'll notice all these other octaves. It's important that we learn how to play this with the first finger and the pinky. Okay? Now, when we play that way, our primary note there winds up on the 1st string, and that's okay. All right? So when we do the next part here, so let's look at that. What I'm doing here is I'm playing in D minor pentatonic, although it's sort of diatonic because I've got the 9th in here as well, if you know what that is, and if you don't, it's okay. But I'm playing 10 to 13, and then, so same exact idea here. But then I'm going to the 13th fret, I'm bending that up, whole step, bringing it back down, going to the 12th fret there. That would be the 9th of the scale, if you know what that is, okay, or the 2nd. And then we're dropping down to the 13th fret here of the 2nd string. And then right here, I have to make a choice. Either I'm going back to the 10th fret of the 1st string, right there, which is the note D, or I could go to the 15th fret and play it there. So it looks like this. Or, now, why would I do one versus the other? Well, they do, as far as the tone goes, the timbre, if you will, they're a little bit different, but more importantly, I think, is which one feels more comfortable. Because when you're doing like maybe a vibrato on there, some people don't like to do their vibrato on the 1st string. And if it's hard for you to do, you could simply go to the 7th or the 15th fret, of the 2nd string, and do a vibrato on that note, and it would be just fine. It's the same note. So you could play either one of those, and it'd be just fine. So that's the first riff, is going. And the big thing here is try and focus on not how fast you can do it, but the technique of it. Your hammer-ons, your pull-offs, the bending, right? Try and make sure that your bend is in tune when you bend that note up. And if you are doing a vibrato at the end of that, make sure that your vibrato is nice and smooth. Work on those subtle elements to really try and make it sound good before you worry about how fast it actually is, okay? Now, the second little phrase that he does is this one. So he starts off exactly the same, but then he goes. And right there, what happens is I'm moving up to the 15th fret, and I'm going to do a whole step. And then from there, it's the same. It goes down to 12, 13, and then either the 10 or the 15, whichever one. So you're just changing where that bend is. The first time you did it on the 13th fret, now you're doing it on the 15th fret. And again, you decide whether it's 10 or 15, whichever place you want. And you keep doing that over and over and over. And at the end of this thing, when you come off, the very last time, they're going to a C sharp minor chord in the actual song. So what happens is right here, Eric Clapton's got to change what he's doing. So we tag it like this. And what he does is he takes that 13th fret, instead of going to the next note, which would be 15 or 10, whichever one we've talked about, you're just going to bend it up a half step, and it's becoming this note right here, okay, which is a C sharp, which matches that chord. So it's really brilliant. And again, I think this is just a nice, easy way of getting another solo, a little melody idea for yourself to start thinking about, and then work on various techniques and kind of see how they match up with what's happening with the song as well. So take care. Hopefully this helps you a little bit. Stay positive, keep practicing, and like, share, that sort of thing. And certainly check out guitarzoom.com if you're looking for any guitar lessons. We have guitar courses and membership ideas and things like that. So take care, and I'll talk to you soon.